Well, hello there. I'm Dr. Tamurah Lau, and you're probably receiving this video because you've been asked by Michael Pond to participate in a gathering in Sedona around spring equinox of 2025. So I'm here to encourage you to do this and to talk about why you would want to be part of a gathering. Like you, I'm sure you've been on your path quite a long time, your spiritual path, and have your own spiritual practices, as do I. And all I can say is that participating with Children of Light has only amplified my own other spiritual practices that I've had before my involvement. So, what is Children of Light? Children of Light is something that was founded by Joe Crane, Dr. Joseph Crane, and in 1996, Joe began having physical visitations from Archangel Michael. Now, when I say physical, I mean physical manifestations, conversations, and eventually that included 11 angels in total, where they could touch Joe or Joe could touch them. These are not channelings, these are not telepathic encounters, these are physical, actual manifestations. So, what were the angels talking about? They were sharing with Joe guidance for humanity, techniques, and suggestions for how we can improve our lives, how we can raise our frequency, and ultimately how we can restore Eden to earth or bring heaven back to earth. So, they've given us some protocols and techniques as to how to do this. A gathering is the beginning of that journey. So someone might ask, well, when did you begin working with Children of Light, Tamurah? And in June of 2023, I was on a spiritual tour in France. We went to Mount Segur. We were following the Trail of the Cathars in Mount Segur. That was the Cathars' last stronghold. And whilst descending the mountain after deep meditation at their temple, I myself had an angelic encounter. Nothing on the scale of what Joe experiences, but I did have something. I got back on the bus and someone mentioned to me about Joe Crane, and immediately a light bulb went off. And so I returned to the States and looked him up and got involved. And I'm so glad and grateful that I did. Like I said, I've been in many spiritual paths, been very involved in my spiritual life, or my spiritual practice my entire life. And I find that this is wonderfully complementary to the practices I already enjoy. And I've accelerated my growth and I feel raised my frequency tremendously. So, what is a gathering? A gathering is 7 persons who have different attributes coming together and each one representing certain qualities of a clan or a tribe or as a church. And the gathering is this wonderful opportunity to be empowered, uplifted, and it's really a quantum event that brings someone to a deeper understanding of their life and the best way to live their life. And in fact, Michael has said that a gathering is a remembrance and discovery of you, the Master, and of the oneness that is within everything. So I look at the gathering as kind of the admission ticket to get into Disneyland. And I'll tell you more about that. I myself was gathered, and it was a joyful experience. I felt like I was on top of the world afterwards. And what my takeaway from the gathering was that I felt like I was able to establish a deep connection with the other 6 masters being gathered, and that we shared a collective consciousness, which is I think, a correspondence to the level of collective consciousness that the angels enjoy with each other. So the gathering is like the ticket to the theme park to get you in, and the conference is where the gathered masters stand together in a formation which Michael has suggested in order to bring about some kind of grand creation of high frequencies to manifest on Earth. I have been at home, just returned from a conference going on 6 weeks now. And I can say that my world turned upside down when I came back home. For example, Michael talks about the four natures of humanity. We have a physical nature, spiritual nature, mental, and physical. And the way I describe it is it's like having four tires on your car. And you're going to get the best ride if all four tires are equally inflated. When I came home from the conference, I looked at my life, and I've got a beautiful home. I have two very active businesses. And I thought, my life is two-dimensional. I want a multicolored life. I don't want black and white. I want multicolors. And I realized that one of my tires had a leak and needed maintenance, and it was impacting the other tire on the same axle. And so I'd been driving through my life kind of with impaired wheels. So the first thing I did was start working on pumping up the slightly low tire and then repairing the tire that needed some attention. And I've been doing that going on 6 weeks now, and I feel fantastic. So it's like I've been accelerated and uplifted even more. Interestingly, just a few days ago, I read a little snippet in something that Michael told Joe, which was when the masters return from a conference, often they may find that they want to change the way they've been living their lives. I can attest to that. So let's see, what other question would I have been asked? Are there any requirements to participate in a gathering? Yes, you would need to do the last baptism. And that is, it's a very private little ritual between you and your creator. And basically it affirms that you need no intercessor in your relationship between yourself and your God. And that is the start of building your relationship with the angels. Now, you might say, well, I've been working with angels all my life, and I don't doubt that. But I can assure you, because I would have said the same thing, that I have a much deeper connection with them now after I've been participating with Children of Light. So let's see. Do the angels have any thoughts about humanity at this time? Well, yes. They say that humanity's thoughts of fear and greed have created great chaos for each other and for the planet and the creatures upon the planet. And they say that by focusing our thoughts instead on love and compassion, and by receiving and focusing on grace, we can clear the chaos and bring about order in a harmonious fashion. And then I think the other question would be, what is your takeaway from your experience? And what I found is that the angels provided a way for us to have nutritional protocols that can help us receive and sustain high frequencies. The angels have said that originally on planet Earth, the Earth was covered with a liquid like dew, and that was the original water that we had until it was touched by consciousness. which downgraded the frequency of it. So the angels have given Joe a technique to raise the frequency of the water we drink. I just love that. And then I think that what I've noticed is that the angels are simply acting as conduits for this divine grace. We already have our connection with our Creator, but the angels are helping to amplify that connection. And by helping us to raise our frequencies, to draw us closer to our divine source. So it's really a very beautiful movement. So if you're receiving this video, it's because you've been asked to consider joining a gathering. And if you choose to do so, I look forward to meeting you at your gathering or at some conference in the future with Children of Light. So be at peace and bless your heart.